Good morning, good afternoon, good evening across the country, around the world. Welcome back to Planet Coaster. We are back in my WestCOT park. As you can see, a nice nighttime shot of the VAB, the launch pad, and kind of the display rockets off to the left there. We're going to jump over to another section of this park, well, the other side of the entrance of this park in just a minute. But first, oh, hello, Mr. Janitor down there. But first, we're going to do some work on the VAB and the main rocket there as well. Because there were things that were just slightly bothering me. And that's something that I didn't do too much, or at least I didn't show too much in Park Buena Vista, was updates to areas. But here, I didn't like that, the letters, so we're going to put just a sign. And I think it looks much better. The text is good. The coloration is good. There we go. A little fuzzy, but it's not bad. And then this rocket, I'm going to change it. I just had visions in my mind of well, I would see, what was it? SpaceX and their rockets, how they get smaller and they flare out again at the top. And instead of a pointy nose, they have a blunt nose like this. And I just think it looks way better, way cooler. It's a little tall for the VAB, but yeah, we suspend our disbelief. And now I'm really happy with how that looks. That looks just a little bit more. I might go change those bottom parts that are really blunt, sharp nose cones, but I might not. So over here, we're going to build another ride, and it's a bit of a departure from the VAB and the futuristic look of things. We're going with the Gears of Fear, and of course, I know it's been done a few times, so mine's not amazing, but it's okay. I'm going to do a steampunk theme, and I'm fairly proud of this. I've never really done much with steampunk stuff, or with what do we get into? We get into the what is it called? The gears, the steam powered stuff, the steampunk stuff. I'm totally drawing like it's the Western themed stuff, the boilers and things. But I end up doing some simple things with it, and I think it turns out okay. I really like it. And again, yes, priority queue. And this one I actually wanted to have it be separated, so we'll get to that in a bit. And again, using the concrete-ish texture here because this is a utilitarian thing. It's a warehouse. It's going to be a warehouse. So it's going to be, like I said, kind of utilitarian, utility looking. And we go with, I was looking at this kind of brick, that kind of brick, rustic brick. No, not rustic brick. I think we go with the classic brick. So we start off by kind of boxing in the ride at least a little bit. And then, because I'm looking, okay, where do the walls go? The walls fall there and here, a little tight. But we have a little leeway, so we scoot it just a smidgen to the left. And that makes the walls line up just a bit, just a bit better. Like I said, we are going to have separation between the standby queue and the priority entrance, the fast pass queue. And again, but to make it work, I have to split a few places and do, what's it called? Do half width things for the walls. I wish Frontier, hey, listen up. I wish we had half width walls as well. It would just make life easier. There'd be less Z fighting, less clipping and things like that. It just would make life better. I doubt that's a high priority for them. I know they're doing lots of other stuff, and we have an update. We just got a small update. We should get a bigger update. What the big one in, I think, April, they said. Yeah. And then there we go, just that. Something nice about this set, though, for the bricks, there's not really, even though things are clipped together, there's not that much Z fighting. They don't really, the textures don't make a whole big mess with each other. They behave pretty well on this one. It's a pleasant surprise. Yeah. And this out here is going to be, well, it's kind of an outer edge, outrigger, outbuilding. It's going to have its own separate roof, but the main building's going to have its own big roof. And here we're getting into decorating, and I was just thinking, okay, what do we have? Looking at all the parts that are articulated and move, and the boiler, and the piston. I was really excited to use the piston. And the saw blade. Yes, we do use the saw blade. And a couple boilers and the steam. That just looks really train, like locomotive boiler to me. That's what we start off with first, because it's the bigger piece. I figure put it in, the one spot that has like a big thing. We put the boiler here as big as we can. I was looking at that gold plate. It just says Planet Coaster. And then a piston here, rotate. and slide in. It's not perfect, but it gets you the idea. I didn't realize till later that, or until I was editing this, that wheel just clips through the ground. Oh well, you suspend your disbelief. And then here we start with some boilers, and things stick through both walls, but I think I make that work. Oop, there we go, making things spin in the correct direction, but it's really great because everything spins at the correct speed to each other, so nothing looks terribly incorrect. The way the piston spins with that big gear to the little gear, it all is ratioed and proportional. It's all correct. And then yeah, there's some random flywheels and things here and there, and the belt feeds. That's where the speeds don't match. I'm like, nope, hold on, it doesn't. There it is. Now it looks like it's correct. And then we just put another gear here, and they aren't necessarily doing anything, but they're spinning and they look cool. I think they look cool. Just enough to give you points of interest as you're walking past, going, what is that? I don't know. What is that? And then because who's going to really see it that closely, even though it's in the same queue, copy paste and just stick that on the other wall because, hey, why not? Again, it's just little points of interest. Nothing particular. Oh yeah, the anvil, because I figured that would make some sense. The piston here, it's kind of going up that staircase. Ooh, put that, there you go, into the wall. And here, I wanted to have the saw as like a literal head chopper, but it'd be too low there. So yeah, we put it up there, and it's this way it becomes a point of interest for both the standby queue and the priority entrance queue. And then there we go. So it's like belt driven. It's I don't know what it does, whether it does, or I don't know what it might do back in that corner of the building, but it's running. And I really like the way it looks. And then gears to it, yes. And then I'm going to put like a, I'm looking for it now, the iron pipe. I think it's iron pipe. Yeah, iron. There it is. I make kind of like a drive shaft that goes, there we go, through there. And it's going to go all the way down this, the fast pass or priority entrance, whatever, queue to here, and then kind of turn this corner. And I know it's not like a correct drive shaft. There's no beveled gears, but it's a thing. And then it's going to connect down to that gear down there, just like it's getting driven in there. There's hidden bevel gears in there that you can't see. Yeah, that's what's happening. Then I found that steel support, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I wanted to put it up here as kind of a scaffolding, and I thought, okay, let's make it across the whole width. There it is. Yeah. Do I jump in with? Oh, I do, for the supports for this. Yeah, because you can't have things just free floating. That's just kind of crazy. And it's the same steel supports that we were using for the for the launch tower and the launch clamp over there at the VAB, but they work in both places. I think I think they work a little closer to quote correct over here in this steampunk type theme space, but I do wish they could be recolored. Here, black is good. Over there, I'd love to have them as white or red. I think that'd be really cool. I know we have the other simple scaffolding and in multicolor stuff, but I like the flexibility of doing a lot of different things with these, and recoloring would be nice. Unless there is a way to recolor, and I totally missed that, which is totally possible, because I'm stupid sometimes, but I don't think there is. Yeah, it's supporting the saw blade itself. Fortunately, the angles of that little V piece match up perfectly with the angle snap when you spin pieces around. So we just copy this and stick it over here because the standby queue hasn't seen this yet. And that boiler sticks out a little bit on the backside, but it's not the end of the world. I think at that point I'm done. Yeah, I'm done with all the steampunk stuff. I'm going to go in and work on the scaffolding up front. Really simple. Going to use the metallic scaffolding again, but make that gray. Same with you. And up and up and up and up we go. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a warehouse, kind of industrial. Nothing specifically warehouse. I'm not sure what it's a warehouse for, but it's a warehouse. That's what it becomes. I think, yeah, this one I'm done working on the interior stuff, at least at ground level. Oh, yeah, recolor that. So we start walling it in, and it did not want to find that hole. That was weird. Yeah, sometimes when you split it like that, it's not terribly cooperative. So at this point, I was like, okay, wait, how tall does this have to be to clear? And this I wanted to be just tall enough to clear. And I have to admit, I'm stealing this from C-Top. He got a comment from somebody when he did his SteamPunk Warehouse, which was the station building for a coaster. he had done an A-frame, and then somebody commented him and said, "Oh, hey, why don't you do this?" And it's I think not razor top, sawtooth top, saw top, roof line for the warehouse. And unfortunately, it doesn't match up. It's 10 squares across instead of just 9, so I have to be creative with that gap there. But that's fairly straightforward. I used the black tar because I figured that was kind of or tar. I think it's tar. Or pitch. No, it's tar. The tar. And that works. It makes it up. You might have a catwalk up on the top. Who knows? But yeah, I really like that. And then I could have put these in, and I get 2, and then I realize, nope, damn it, they're too tall. So I have to split it with a 2 meter and a 1 meter piece. They were a little tedious to get into place, but then we end up figuring it out. And then copy. And I should have done it there and on the far side, but I failed to realize that. I get to it later. It's not that big a deal. But now that it's all there, I just kind of have to go, okay, do I shave it off on the back corner? No, we just extend the building out all the way. There it is. Boop, boop. Yeah, except that it doesn't. Oh, yeah, so first off, the wall is just a slightly off height, and then I had that wall at the wrong, I had it on the inside instead of the outside. So at that point, I was like, oh, God, it's going to stick up just that little bit, and it's going to bug the crap out of me. So select and move the roof, the whole thing, just up by 1 foot. 1 foot, just to make the walls match up there. And now they do, and everything is happy. Now we go around just walling it all in, and I just stick them on there and have that overhang, and I get rid of that in a moment. But I just wanted to get these in place as quickly as possible. Delete. And then, okay, here's I go, what shouldn't it do? Oh, right, it's the 2 and the 1. Grr. And there, the building's almost all the way enclosed, aside from these edges over here. And it's weird for this slope. It's not a perfect 1 meter, then 2 meter gap. It's like a little less. I don't know what's up with that. It's kind of weird. Unless it's just the way I built it, and I built it wrong, which is entirely possible. And then we're going to wall in this side. I thought this side would be like, like an annex to the building, like offices or something. And I thought up, down, up. Nope, we'll just wall it in and have that pipe kind of transition through and go out of view and then back into view when you're in the queue. Yeah, that works for me. Need to close this up. We did it with a simple A-frame roof line here, but of course, yeah, it's a not square. It needs one piece that overlaps and clips through, but it's okay. And then wall it in. Good. And I realized later, I think next episode, that I didn't quite get that correct. The queue is there, but then there's just an open gap next to it. Now we're making like the offices inside that are supposed to be, support buildings inside. Oh, yes, good. So now we're getting to the effects part where we add steam and smoke and things like that. And I wanted to have these guys do something, so we end up with, this small steam. I don't think that's the right one. I think I go with a different one for other ones, but it's okay here and there. And then, all these pistons, I put steam blowing out there because that's how it would work. And over here, I literally just put open obvious in your face steam plates just because. Deleted all the spare ones over there. But here, oh yeah, I did use a different one. One is like a jet steam. This is just a steam. Interesting. I might go through and change that on the other one because the other one it was blowing out like these into the queue. It was a jet steam pad instead of just a nozzle. And here, same thing. Sink it in there, and it's kind of like escaping the boilers. Walls. Walls are not always my friend. They don't like it when you try to work inside of them. And then I put one here thinking, yeah, this is steam powered, right? Sure, there's steam escaping over here too. Because I don't know how those gears work. Warehouse. Yay. Gears of Fear. I leave the name of the ride Gears of Fear for now because it's kind of fitting. That's what the ride is. But it's a fitting name. And over here, this corner was kind of so I figured, okay, let's put something, not that roof, but this roof. Yeah, just like that. Come on. There it is. Good. And then wall it up. Yeah, see, that's like a 0.5 meter gap, which is interesting. And then a little office there, and I think some windows. Yeah, that's the manager's office. That's why it has the nicer windows. I think that's it for the interior. I'm kind of taking a look around, all the way around, looking at it, thinking of what else to do. I was looking at the front, and I was initially like, pipes out here. These would be nice if you could recolor them as well. They're just stuck with the black tips and the red pipe itself. Wait, we get these on the entrance and the exit thing there. Boop, boop, boop. And then we put some wood pillars to support. I was really looking at that metal thing. Oh, I'll use that later. That's right. Down in there, one there, and one there. And then we cheat this over just a smidgen. And then we go put the big warehouse doors on the side, like, loading bays there, office doors over there, and then windows. And I go with the lead line. They're supposed to be castle ones, but they look kind of, warehousey utilitarian to me, especially when they're clumped together, I think, like this in the two sets. And then I go, okay, let's do the pipes. And we're going to do these. We're going to do a whole bunch of these up the front side, and they're going to be exhaust pipes for smoke and stuff, because it is a warehouse. It's steampunk. Everything's steam powered. It ends up looking very, smoky and ugly, but that's kind of the look I was going for. So that's the first one, and we end up sliding that over a couple times. That one goes straight up. They all end up about the same height too, which is kind of nice. They're all a uniform thing. But they also kind of look, I think they kind of look like almost like storm drains, like when it rains and you have the water flowing off the roof to go places. And then is this the one where no, this one just goes up and over. The last one I do an actual T-split, or do I do it here? I do it here. Ah, yes, okay. That's right, we have 5 chimneys, but 4 like bases to it. And that ends up like that. And this one ends up, going further over and up, boop, boop, boop. And pop that in place. And she's good. And lastly, of course, for the outside, add the smoke. I do the light smoke on like 2 of them. And then we add heavy smoke to 2 of the others. And honestly, with all the heavy smoke there, it looks really cool. It looks like a warehouse. It looks like something from a video game that you would see as the warehouse that's in the city skylines or whatever. And then we add, I wanted to have one balcony here that was simple, like manager's lookout from the front, kind of. We get some railing. And I think this is the final thing for this episode. We continue on the next episode, though, and do a lot more work to it, to the interior, the exterior, do a lot of cool things, I think. Just slap a door on there, and I think that's going to be it, and we call it a day. Yeah, watching it from the inside, watching it go, and everything looks good, watching the ride function. And that's, that's it for that episode. I'm trying to keep these shorter, around, under 20 minutes, just so it's a little less talking at once for me. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you hit subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, pass the word. I will catch you later.